Mr. Parker, how are you today?
I'm very well. Excellent.
Good.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay. What's going on?
I'm all right. I screened the film last night.
Very good.
And I did not feel good after seeing it.
Okay.
That film it sits on you. It's heavy.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, I was like, I don't want any white people talking to me.
Right.
How do you want white people to feel after seeing the film? And more importantly, what do you want them to do with that feeling?
Well, man, this is what I want. I want them to recognize that this film doesn't do this. It doesn't shake a film. It just exposes them to a trauma that maybe they didn't know existed. Being a black man walking around in America has been traumatizing. You know, as James Baldwin says, to be black and relatively conscious is to walk around in a state of rage all the time. That is something that's baggage that we carry. Some people call it a chip on your shoulder. That is the same chip on the shoulder that inspires the prison industrial complex. Because Ralph Ellison says, you know, when you feel like you're invisible, after a while you lash out to let the world know you're there.
Right.
You know, when we talk about being black in America and what that means, a black man in America, the attacks, the constant attack, that whole assumption of being dangerous and guilty constantly and having to navigate that space. I wanted this film not to present good black people and bad white people, but to recognize that this was a system that was in place that affected us all. It traumatized us all. And if we've all been traumatized, then there needs to be healing for all of us.
I'm going to jump in right here because
Anyway.
you're saying in the film,
Sure.
slave masters use Christianity
Sure.
as a way to make the slaves obedient,
That's right.
and you have professed to be a man of God.
Right.
Did you grapple with that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the dichotomy between,
Yes.
you know, absolutely. Put it this way. I believe God is God. You know, there's no, you know, okay, well, the people in heaven and black people go over here and white people go over there, right? So Christianity, my faith is Christianity. Christianity can be used as something to get us closer to our faith, or it can be used as a tool, but it doesn't make it any less of a faith, right? So just like a hammer can be used to break something, or it can be used to drive, you know, a nail into a wall, right? It's still a hammer, right? Or so many people, the oppressor of that time, used Christianity as a tool to destroy, right? Nat Turner used it as for what it was. When people say, oh, I'm a Christian, okay, if you're a Christian, what kind of Christian are you? Are you a Nat Turner Christian? Or are you like the type that hung him and skinned him and crushed his flesh into grease?
You have a lot of controversy surrounding you because of what took place at Penn State 17 years ago. Why should people still see this film? And don't say because it's a great story that needs to be told.
No, I'm not going to say that. You know, I've addressed this a few times, and I'm sure in future forums I will. When I think about this film, I think about one, that's a story needs to be told, but I also think about the fact that, you know, 400 plus people put their time into this film. I know you've interviewed some of the other actors. So much went into telling this story, whether it be the actors or the gaffers. There's so many people that have basically fed into getting this project off the ground. And you go from Sundance all the way to the international stage. You play the film, and the film plays. I think the film speaks to something way deeper than we can imagine. I always say I hope this is not just a film, that it's a movement. That when the film happens, it's not just a footnote that was entertaining, move on, but we really leave and ask ourselves how we can deal with injustices that we deal with daily in our community, and what is our responsibility? Are we open to having a Nat Turner disposition, a riotous disposition toward injustice, and not cowering to protect our own privilege, because we all carry privilege. So the question is, are we going to, as Nat Turner did say, you know, if God is real, we need to do something. If I care about my community, I need to sacrifice something. What am I willing to give up? Are we willing to have those conversations around the liberation and change we want to see in our communities? And hopefully the movie inspires that, and the answer is yes.